Vatos, Midget here, and welcome to another episode of my Walking Dead reviews. Today we are reviewing episode 4 of season 1 called Vatos. And this episode is quite a very up and down episode. It starts off Andrea and Amy on a boat talking about their family before the apocalypse, talking about Dad teaching them to fish because they're on the boat, catching some fish so people have something to eat. And just a second later, Dale gets a bit suspicious of Jim because Jim's working really hard, and have no break, and he's just there digging, and he's like, apparently it's 100 degrees. I know it's not. That's just like, just saying it's really hot, so he should be out. But Jim's digging those holes. Why is he digging them? So Dale gets a bit suspicious, and back at the group that went to Atlanta, Daryl points his crossbow at T-Dog after he finds out that Merle's hand went missing. Well, hand's there, but Merle's went missing. He points like the crossbow and anger at T-Dog. He goes like, and then straight away like Rick points at him. I find that quite good because it's like a triangle. I love it. I love the way. So Rick would survive nevertheless if he died, but what else? And so Daryl, calms down after Rick, points the gun at him because obviously no one wants to die in the apocalypse. No matter how much you don't want to die, you're going to do anything to survive. And that's what happens, right? What happens is he puts Merle's hand in Glenn's bag, and they go downstairs to try and track Merle, anyway. And Dale talks to Jim, tries to give him something to drink. However, it does not work out, to be honest. He's a bit stubborn, Jim, and he just went, no, I'm not having a drink, go away. I guess that's because he's got some problems, or as we later find out, spoiler alert, he's bitten. But that's later we find out, so I don't know if he was bitten since then or he was bitten later on. I don't know, but just that. And Merle kills 2 walkers barehanded, which is very, very impressive. The light group in Atlanta. I'll call the Atlanta people, Rick, T-Dog, Glenn and Daryl, I'll call them the group, and I'm going to call the camp, basically, so you know what I'm on about, because there's 2 groups at the moment, isn't there? So Daryl and his, friends go into the downstairs and find out Merle's hands, Merle took out 2 walkers one-sided, and he calls Merle a tough son of a bitch, and then Rick spoils the situation where Merle looks really hard. He goes, every man can pass out of blood loss, and he sort of spoils the situation, but I like that scene. And Dale tells the group about the potential threat and problem being Jim, since he has, he's acting very suspicious, they go up to talk to him, and it just gets really weird. They go up to talk to him, and he starts, acting again very stubborn, and he starts acting very violent, and he goes, what you gonna do to me, what you did to Carol's husband? Have you all seen his face or what's left of it? And I think that's a bit wrong, because he wasn't there, he doesn't understand the story. However, Amy told him what happened, she went, you didn't see the situation, so you can't really talk. And what's his name again? Shane says to give him the shovel, and he doesn't, and he gets a bit violent, tries to swing the shovel at Shane, but he manages to dodge it with his martial arts skills, innit, lad? I'm kidding, he dodges it, and he pins Jim down on the floor and handcuffs him and goes, nothing's going to happen to him, and Jim's like, you're lying. But that's basically all that happens. Glenn thinks of a strategy. He thinks of, he's going to run down that alley, Daryl's going to be there, and what's the name? The other 2, Rick and T, are going to be at the other side, in case he can't go back that way, basically. And while he's doing that, Daryl gets attacked. Well, first of all, this kid comes down that alley, and he's like, what are you doing? And the kid starts screaming, which is really weird, because if it was by himself, I doubt he'd scream. I'd be like, sorry, sorry, sorry. But he wasn't, he just scram, that's not even a word. He screamed so loud, so his other 2 buds can come and save him, and they did. You know, they beat Daryl up, they start kicking him, and then Glenn gets pinned off going back to Rick, and they hear the screaming of that kid, so they try and run down those 2 blocks, and Daryl's getting beaten up, and Glenn manages to cut the corner, and he sees Daryl getting beat up, and he gets hostaged by one of the men that was also trying to get the guns, and Daryl manages to get up, crossbow him in the ass. Oh, how much would that hurt, you know, getting crossbowed in the ass? That was like, oh damn moment. I really enjoyed that moment. And then the guns, nothing happens to the guns. Upset that what's his name again? Glenn. What's his name again? Why do I keep saying that? I don't know. Glenn gets taken hostage and into the car, and the people run away with Glenn in their car, which is not good because you know, Glenn's an amazing character, as we find out in season 4, season 3, you know. And instead of Glenn being taken hostage, the group or what's left of it after Glenn's, you know, hostage by the others, the Latino guys, the kid from the Latino guys gets hostage by Daryl, and Daryl makes up this amazing lie where he goes, you know what happened to the last guy that made me angry? He shows him Mill's hand, and he's like, you're crazy, man. So he shows them right away where their group is, and they try to go trade with them, and what happens basically is they go, I don't want him, blah blah blah, and he goes, Rick makes up, goes, there's the 2 sidemen or sidekicks of that, you know, the main Latino guy that's like the leader, who's really calm, and he goes, I'm not giving you a thing, what about if I pop a bullet through your head right now? And then Rick just goes, and looks, and what's his name again? I said it again, the Latino guy does look to his right, and then this T-Dog just with like a sniper scope, just looking at him, and he's like, please man, make the trade, I don't want to kill you, but not like in a cocky way, like, I don't want to kill you, you know, just basically because he's a good person, T-Dog, and they close the door and go, I'm not trading anything without the guns, so they go back, you know, take all the cartridges out of the guns, and go to fetch Glenn. They get into the building of trade, and you know, they point the guns at the others, and then they realise they're really outnumbered, which is kind of awkward, you know. You wouldn't want to be in a situation with there's 3 of you and like 50 others, and pointing guns at you. I'd be pretty scared. But nevertheless, the group wasn't scared, and this old grandma, she comes in and asks for help from this guy. I don't speak Latino, so I can't really hear I understand what she says, but she's obviously asking for help from her son, and then she goes to, basically she saves the situation from going into a total disaster, and she just goes to Rick and goes, please, officer, don't arrest my son, he's been good. And then he goes, I'm not here to arrest your son, I'm here for my friend. And he's like, oh, the Asian kid, I'll lead you to him. And then the Latino guy's like, let them pass, you know. He's not very, I guess he's not doing it for a bad purpose, because what you find out is it's for an old people's home, you know, like to protect an old people's home. And I like the sort of society that's going on there. Not the people's home, but it looks very safe. It's like, let's say, it's a warehouse leading to a block of flats that's completely isolated by, there's like some stairs, it's like a balcony, and there's nothing that walkers can get up. It's just literally, I don't know, because it's an old people's home, it's most likely on the top floor, bottom floor, so the walkers definitely could get through that way, but we've not seen that, so we don't know if it's on the top floor or not. It might not be on the top floor, it might be on it might be on the top floor, not on the ground floor, and the only way for walkers to get through is that warehouse, and that looks pretty safe to me. Walkers can't open, you know, a gate, so nevertheless, I think that's probably the best place to be, not a prison, because they can break down the thing like we see in season 4, but, you know, basically when they make trades with the Latino guy, they talk to the Latino guy, and they go, right, here's your guns. They give him like 2 or 3 or 4, and they head back with the rest of the guns, and the van's missing, and Daryl's like, who could steal the van, and it ends up on Merle, you know. Rick says Merle could have done it, and when they run back, Andrew wants something to wrap the present for Amy, because she's marked the days on the calendar, and tells Dale that, you know, is he got no wrapping paper or anything, and he says, I'll find some, and then it's a very peaceful scene. Everyone just around a campfire, and just talking about Dale's watch, how he always rewinds it. He's like, time is very important. And all of a sudden, from very, by this time, the group is coming towards the camp, and by this time, Ed, gets harassed. Well, you can't really call it harassed. He gets annoyed by Carol, and he goes out to tell Carol off and probably hit her, I guess, since the type of person he is. And he doesn't hit her, it ends up being a walker, and he gets gangbanged by 3, which he totally deserves. Thanks, Ed. He's dead. And then next scene's basically Amy getting, going. There's no toilet paper, and she sticks her hand out on the RV like that, the door. Let's say that's the door. She goes like that on the door, and a walker comes up to her and bites her hand, and she's screaming, and all of a sudden she does this. I love the facial expression on Laurie Holden's face when she saw her sister die. I kind of loved that, and then it all goes to mayhem. Shane sort of saves the situation by having a gun, and all the men go to fight the walkers, and Rick hears the shooting. He's like, oh god, and they get there. Obviously they basically end the mayhem after they have the guns, and he gives Carl a really good hug, and Carl's crying. Andrew gives Amy an early birthday present. She's really sad, and Laurie, I saw a bit where Laurie's just proper shocked, and Jim says that's why he dug the holes, which I don't really understand. Is if it's because he knew that people were gonna die, why not just tell the group and make it secure rather than dig holes and let people die? You know what, Jim? That's sort of a dick move, since Andrew would probably kill you if she was still in season 4 and you was in season 4 with her. She'd probably kill you if you knew that those walkers are gonna come, but you didn't do anything about it since her sister did die. And that's basically it for this episode. I really enjoyed this episode since this is the first time we've really seen deaths. In the whole of The Walking Dead, in season 1 episode 4 is the first time you see the walker get somebody, and it comes in a double barrel. Two people die, which I don't condemn that. Is that the word? Condemn? No, not condom. Sorry, condemn. That, I guess, is the word, or the closest I'm going to get to the actual word. And but it is entertaining for the viewer to see, so that's basically it. I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10, because it's very, ups and downs, I guess. It gets a little bit boring when just talking within the group in Atlanta sometimes, but that's why I'm going to give it an 8, because it's got his warfare holding it up, and it's got his, talking the bore a bit holding it up, so it sort of balances it out. However, there is a bit more intensity in the deaths and warfare, since there's a lot of warfare and there's a lot of talking, but there's 2 deaths and there's not that much more talking. It's 2 pretty not that important characters, but nevertheless there is some deaths. So that's why I'm going to give an 8 rather than a 5. And yes, so hopefully you enjoyed this episode, guys. This is Midget, and I'm going to see you tomorrow for another episode. So I got to say that again, don't I? This is Midget, and I'm going to see you guys next time.